again across the Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere makes the move on Terry. Wrist shot. Score! Wayne Simmons in front. Gostisbehere, brilliant setup, and the Flyers have tied this game at 2. Here's Delzato. Wines fires in front. Voracek, he scores! Jake Voracek's drought is over, and it couldn't have come at a better time. An overtime game winner. Flyers win it 3-2. Voracek holding on all the way across Giroux. Back out. Gostisbehere the shot. He scores! NHL goal number 1 for Shane Gostisbehere. Voracek to Giroux. Giroux back to Jake. Circles. Waits. And gets to Giroux for the shot. He scores! The dynamic duo is back.
Now, Andy Robb, Ken Prell, the Philly Hockey Guys.
Yeah, see, things aren't so bad.
After our last show, it was just so negative. But
Yeah.
I wanted to, get things going on a little bit brighter of a note here for this show.
Yeah, absolutely. We could use a little bit of positivity right now. I'm sure, you could use a few bright spots when it comes to this team currently. So we've had a few bright spots, not many, but a few.
But, last night you had to be impressed by the way they came out and played, even though they ended up with the loss in the shootout, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But, I liked the energy that they came out with last night.
Welcome to another episode of the Philly Hockey Guys podcast. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Philly Hockey Guys. Subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, TuneIn, YouTube, all that stuff. I'm Andy Robb.
I'm Ken Prell.
All right, yeah, so we're back. It's been about 5 days since our last episode. It's been getting more and more difficult to have time to get to record during the week, and it's starting to aggravate me.
More so than the actual play on the ice.
Yeah, because it's like, I want to keep doing the shows, but then it's like, we've actually gotten messages from people that's like, hey, it's been 5 days.
I know.
Where are you?
This is our fault because we were pumping out, 2, 3, 4 shows a week sometimes. So we're doing our best to get them out.
We want to thank you for listening, and we want to thank you, for your patience. And, of course, we love doing this show. I mean,
it's just finding the time to do it. And, we're trying to figure out the best way going forward, how to get that done.
We're working on a few, some sort of changes to the show. We've gotten some questions from people. We did before mention about people calling in and doing question and answers, that sort of stuff. That is still part of our plans for the future. We're just trying to get all the details figured out about that. But hopefully, within, I don't know, maybe by Christmas break or something like that, we should get that segment up and running.
Fingers crossed on that one. And our next contest, we'll have
that's right.
An announcement on that coming up very soon.
Yeah, we will be giving away another prize pack. Speaking of prize packs, Practically a Chemist, your prize pack is coming. We swear. It is.
We got it packed up. I just got to run it to the post office.
Yeah, it's
it's my fault. I'll take the blame
even
for
with
this
work,
one.
it's hard just to get somewhere to ship something. So, again, patience, it's a virtue. And if you want to talk about patience being a virtue, that's what should be painted on the wall in the Flyers locker room.
All right, well, let's get to some of the games since our last show. We won't even talk about the Capitals game. We'll just pretend
they lost 5-2.
That never happened. No, that never happened.
No, they lost 5-2. Did I not say that Ovechkin's going to come out and put on a clinic and that team was going to dump all over them?
That's basically what happened in that game. So there you go. There's the recap on that one. Let's talk a little bit better news. On the Saturday night, they played the Hurricanes, the Canes, the Caniacs.
That's right. Speaking of which, before we get to that, Ken and I's favorite promotion of all time is for the Carolina Hurricanes broadcast. If you watch their stream, what did the answer say? It's like if the Canes win.
If the Canes win, you go to
score,
Bojangles?
Yeah, you go to Bojangles and you say, I'm a Caniac. It's bow time, and you get a free biscuit.
Just one biscuit.
And it's only for like 3 hours. It's only from like 9 a.m. to noon.
And otherwise, I don't think it's that long. I think it's even shorter than that.
Yeah, it might be 2 hours.
Yeah.
So every time
I'm a Caniac, it's bow time.
And they're like, all right, here's your free biscuit. It's phenomenal. I wish we had something like that. But then again, the Flyers have to win games.
Yeah, well, they did. They won on Saturday night. They actually, in overtime, Jake Voracek finally scoring a goal
God, I bet you that. Now, talk about a weight being lifted off of somebody's shoulders. I mean, because that's a textbook definition of it right there. And it was nice. It was nice to see. And you could tell when he scored, the way he put his arms up like that, he thought the same
finally.
thing. Yeah. Thank God. You say I did it.
Although I have a confession. I turned that game off after the second period. They played so bad in those first two periods. Actually, it was halfway through the second period I turned it off.
Yeah.
And I had my daughter with me on Saturday night, and she wanted to watch the movie Pixels with Adam Sandler.
Oh, God, what was worse? That Flyers game or that movie?
Well, considering the Flyers came back to win, it was actually that movie.
Pixels?
Yeah, Pixels was it was pretty bad. My daughter liked it. She's 10, so of course she liked it.
Did you like Pixels more than you liked Focus?
Oh, that's a tough one. I have to think about that. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, they're kind of neck and neck, as both pretty bad.
That's now Pixels. That's the one with Adam Sandler, right?
Adam Sandler and games from the 1980s, video games from the 1980s.
Yeah.
Invade Earth. And that's not the most unbelievable part of that movie.
Really?
Kevin James is also in the movie, and
You mean Paul Blart?
Paul Blart. He plays the president of the United States.
Paul Blart is the president of the United States?
That
cool.
was more unbelievable to me than the fact that aliens invading.
Yeah, no, that movie looks weird, man. Yeah. Anyway, as we get completely distracted.
All right, well, back to the game.
Yeah.
The first couple periods, they were just completely outclassed by
Seems
Carolina.
to be like what they always do, though. It's like the first 20 minutes, the first 30 minutes, the first
I don't
35, the first 40, what have you. It seems to be the constant theme here.
Yeah. But again, once I turned it off, they came out in the third period. They outshot Carolina 11-3. And then Ghost.
Yeah.
He looks phenomenal. He did a nice little shifty deke move and then got things going, fired a shot that hit off of Simmons and redirected, and we forced overtime.
Yeah.
So that was good to see. And then, like we said, in overtime, Michael Del Zotto gets the nice little pass to Voracek in. We get a game winner.
It's really cool seeing Gostisbehere playing with the team. I mean, I know that Hextall is preaching patience and all that kind of stuff, but, I mean, I really think the guy was overdue to get some minutes.
He's exactly what this team needed.
He looked great in the preseason.
Yeah. He brings much-needed speed to this team.
Yeah.
One wicked shot. And we'll get to that next as we talk about the Kings game last night. Wow.
The way that Giroux set that play up to help out Gostisbehere to get that shot in, I mean...
Well, yeah.
Once you get a pass like in that capacity from Giroux, chances are it might find the back of the net.
And any jackass out there who says that Giroux should not be the captain of this team, he's the one who went to Ghost after the Canes game and said, look, you get a chance to shoot, you shoot the puck. And what did Ghost do last night? Shot the puck, scored a goal, looked fantastic out there.
Yeah.
You know,
he did.
That's
Absolutely.
leadership right there out of Giroux.
Sure. How long do you see Ghost staying with the club on this time around?
I think he's up for the rest of the season.
Really? Now,
Yes.
what makes you think that?
I think it's pretty simple. If you look at the last two games, I mean, the guy has shown that he definitely belongs right now. And the other fact is, Straight's out for 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think by that time, Gostisbehere will be, he'll be part of the team at that point. And I think it'll be almost impossible to send him back down unless his play drastically drops off.
Or if Andrew McDonald just hits the biggest hot streak in Phantoms history.
I think it's safe to say we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. I would be compelled to agree with you. I would like to see it play out like that. Of course, that in some ways kind of goes against the whole thing that Hextall's trying to implement with the whole patience and let them develop. But, another great way to get them developed is by giving them some actual NHL experience. So
I completely agree.
It's strange to try to break it down, and it seems like it could be different from player to player in terms of how ready they are.
If Ghost doesn't get hurt last year, you have to think he makes this team out of camp this year.
See, I don't know.
Really? You think Hextall would have still?
He probably would have stayed. He probably would have still stayed with the Phantoms, I think. I think, but what do I know?
Yeah, we don't.
What do we know? We're not
it's a
Ron
hypothetical.
Hextall.
Yeah,
as much as every day I wish that I was, I'm not. So I don't know. I want to see him do that. I would love it, absolutely, because the guy has really made a discernible difference with the team in only 2 games. And it's astounding for a young guy. But you look at it, and the way that power play was moving, the way that certain defensive things were made, you haven't seen that since the preseason when he was with the team.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Remember, we talked about this in the preseason. We even got questions on it. If we were worried about the power play because it kind of went a little stagnant towards the end of preseason when it was so hot in those first 3 games when Ghost was on the team. And we both just chalked it up to be like, no, it's just, guys are just feeling
it's all part of the
out.
preseason.
Yeah. You're going against, you're not going against the other team's best all the time. But then,
right.
But yeah, and then, for as bad as the Flyers power play has been this year, and then you see it kind of come to life over the last 2 games, getting better quality scoring chances. I think there might be something to it.
Yeah. I mean, like I just said, discernible difference. There really is. I mean, you can tell that there is a difference with this team when he's on the ice, which is
absolutely.
remarkable for
Yeah.
somebody, his age and, a player that doesn't have the biggest amount of experience under his belt.
No.
But the fact that he makes that much of a difference, it seems, not like you said, it's only 2 games. It's not very telling. It's not.
Well, you just watch him and some of the deke moves that he used and how shifty he is on the ice.
He's very fast.
And extremely
very disciplined
fast.
Skater.
I think it's no wonder that he gives a jump to the rest of the guys on there because it's something that this Flyers team has not had. I don't remember them ever having it.
I just got to ask, isn't that just a little bit embarrassing if you're the rest of the team and you're like, hey, listen, guys, I know that we are paid millions of dollars a year. We're in the prime of our careers. We're expected to score goals and be the best that we can. The only way we can really get help is from this kid who's only played in the minors for a bit. Isn't that kind of embarrassing?
Oh, it is.
Like a little bit.
Especially if you're a guy like Manning or Schultz. Or even Delzato has not played all that great this year, although he seems to be picking it up a little bit here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, you're right. It is sad. It's sad.
But sad with the most optimistic intentions.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Flyer fans have wanted. This is what we have wanted.
Right.
I mean, if it was up to us, I think we would have all the rookies up here right now and just let them play out and see how things go. But but no,
they're
doing
themselves a favor.
Yeah,
because I mean, rookies in their first year, and they get thrown right into the league. Sometimes things happen.
Yeah.
See Connor McDavid.
Yep, absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
As a guy, anyone could be ready for the league, but still, things happen.
Us as fans, we're irrational. We want to see the new
Wait
shiny
a minute.
toy.
We're fans of Philadelphia teams, and we might be a bit irrational.
Just a tad.
No way.
At times.
When did
At
this
times.
start?
Very recently, I think.
Oh wow.
But we want to see the shiny new toys. And I mean, Hextall's doing the right thing by bringing everybody along slowly, but I think this is a guy who is ready.
Sure.
And I think you've shown that. Again, small sample size, but so far so good.
Yeah, for 2 games with the club, yes, I give him an A. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, A, maybe even A+.
I don't do that plus. I'm not going to do the plus.
A++.
Minus. Say A. I'm just going to say A.
A+++++. And another plus.
That's a lot of pluses. That's more pluses than Charlie Sheen's HIV test.
Oh, man. Well, that didn't take long.
Well, that's it for the show, guys. The internet's calling. We're canceled. Dude, you walked right into that.
Did I walk into it or just perfectly set you up?
It is pretty nice, though, to finally have some positive news about Charlie Sheen. We're going to hell. I think that's why this team's doing so bad, because we say terrible things.
It's us.
Sometimes. Talked about spreading your ashes at the Wells Fargo Center on the ice on the last episode. We've got everything from analysis to highlights to Patrick Kane, Bill Cosby jokes. We do everything here.
We've got it all.
We really do.
All right, well, let's officially recap the Kings game. We've been talking a lot about it. Of course, Ghost getting his first goal on the power play.
Oh man, that was a thing of beauty.
It was a beauty. He even said after the game, it was a dream come true. Every kid who has ever played hockey wants to play in the NHL, let alone score a goal. I mean, it's really a dream come true. I really didn't know what to do out there. I was just very happy.
Well, he was certainly more restrained than Yakupov was when he scored. He's like, I'm just going to slide across this entire surface of the ice.
I mean, that's what I would do.
I know.
You know, I'd just go nuts.
I'd go up in the stands and start high-fiving people.
Exactly.
There was a soccer highlight I saw once. A guy scored a goal, right? So after he scores the goal, they're like, oh, he runs up into the stands, sits down, watches the replay of his goal on the screen, and starts clapping for himself.
That's fantastic right there. That's how you celebrate a goal.
I would totally do something like that.
Absolutely.
On Simone Gagne night, which is the big controversy now, is why did Dustin Brown snub Simone Gagne's kid and leave him high and dry when he wanted a high five last night at the face-off? Have you seen this?
No, I missed that.
TSN has actually made a story
really
as to why.
Oh, that's not right.
It's obviously a slow news day. But yeah, it's turning into a fiasco.
Yeah.
What does Dustin Brown have against children? Son of a bitch.
Well, Giroux gave the Flyers the lead in the third period, 9 minutes to go in regulation.
It's always good to see him score.
Flyers were up 2-1. It looked like everything was going to fall into place. They'd walk out of there with the win, and then with less than a minute to go.
What happens?
Just a scrum in front of the net, and it ends up getting past Mason,
Yep.
who played fantastic
38
last night.
saves last night,
He was
I believe?
amazing last night.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't put this loss on Mason. As then, we go to the overtime then, tied at 2. I can't get enough of 3-on-3. It is fantastic. It is so much fun to watch.
Since we're talking about goalies, real quick hit. Stolars has been sent back down to the Phantoms. It looks like Neuwirth is getting ready to make another return.
Yeah, they just called it a maintenance day. So
like a day-to-day type thing.
Yeah.
Mason took one of those the other day.
Yeah.
We'll
so
see
he
what
thought,
happens.
Neuwirth thinks he'll be ready to go by Thursday night if the Flyers choose to use him. So yeah, we get to overtime, chance after chance on the 3-on-3. Flyers had a couple great opportunities. Matt Reed had an unbelievable opportunity to end the game, but we end up going to shootout, and in typical Flyers fashion, they end up losing the shootout. But it was a good game. They had a great effort last night.
Yeah, good effort.
So.
I agree. Yes.
But I mean, I really think the NHL, with the success of the 3-on-3, they really need to look at maybe just going 3-on-3 for 10 minutes, because somebody's going to score in 10 minutes instead of going to the shootout. Hopefully that's a change they make. Maybe going forward next season with the success of the shootout, and I mean with the success of the 3-on-3. And
I was going to say with the success of the shootout.
Yeah.
You must be thinking of another team then, because we have none.
No, I mean overall in the NHL, the success of the 3-on-3
right.
has been very well received by most fans, and actually, I think it may be heading that way. Because have you heard about the changes to the NHL All-Star game?
Yeah, I have, but in case somebody doesn't know about it, let's talk about it.
Yeah, they're going to change the format, move away from the traditional 5-on-5, 60-minute game to a trio of 20-minute mini games featuring 4 divisional All-Star teams playing 3-on-3 hockey.
Yeah, I'm on board for that.
It's going to be so cool.
I mean, if you think about it, like with in terms of All-Star, the combinations that you could do are almost endless.
It's going to be tough because what they're going to do, there'll be 4 teams of 9 skaters and 2 goalies, 1 team for each of the 4 divisions.
Mm-hmm.
You just look at the Metro division.
Yeah.
You got Giroux, Voracek, Crosby,
Malkin,
Ovechkin.
Ovechkin.
Right there. there's going to be some really good players that are left off these teams, but man, they're going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, no. Oh, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
So the way they'll do it, there'll be a 20-minute mini game, likely 2 10-minute halves featuring one division versus another.
Yeah.
Again, 3-on-3 action, followed by another 20-minute game with the other 2 division teams playing, and then kind of a championship game. I think the NHL will finally get some traction around their All-Star game. It won't be this joke that it's been for the last 30 years. This will be something fun to watch.
And the All-Star game's all right. It's not terrible.
Nah, the All-Star game, there's no defense, there's no goaltending going on. So now this is something different. I think the best part of All-Star weekend is always the skills competition the night before. The game is always an afterthought. This, I think, brings some added new excitement to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I can't wait for
Give it a
this.
shot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm completely behind this. You're absolutely right. It will be exciting. It will be exciting to watch.
Yeah, and right in between, the division championship game and the Super Bowl is when this one will happen, January 31st in Nashville.
Very, very cool. Yeah, so that can't come soon enough. I know it'll be here before you know it.
Yep.
So. Yeah, we'll get to talk about that. We'll talk about all the Flyers that won't make the All-Star teams. No,
I think you're guaranteed at least Giroux making the team.
At least.
And depending on where Voracek goes from here on out. Because he played like a madman last night against the Kings, had a couple assists. So I think he's finding his groove. So I think those are probably your 2 Flyers' best chance.
Yeah, best chance. But either way, it's miles away. So we'll wrap up with a few quick hits here. Ryan White out of the lineup for 2 to 4 weeks, which that's quite a blow to take because he does look good on that fourth line.
Although I thought Raffl looked pretty good last night on the fourth line, better than he did on the first line. And Braden Shen actually picked up his game last night being on that first line with Giroux and Voracek. Had a team-high 8 shots, a career-high 8 shots on net. And should have had a goal, too. And stupid Toronto took it away from us.
Good way to mix things up. Good way to keep things going. So yeah, he's got a right shoulder injury. Neuwirth, like we said, originally he was considered day-to-day with the upper body injury, and we just reported Stolarz sent back down. So it looks like Neuwirth will be returning. Streit, we're out 6 weeks. We already talked about that. And Umberger is back on injured reserve again.
This is one of those injuries that I wonder if it's just a salary cap injury. Go sit over there, collect your check, and we'll get back to you.
I don't know. I don't know. But either way, there's going to be some interesting, lineup changes and some switches being made, like have been over the past few games. So it should be interesting to see what happens
I
next.
think that's one of the things that Flyer fans need to be patient with. Remember, this is a rookie coach.
Right.
This is his first time, first 20 games around all these players.
Right.
And he's just trying to figure out which parts work. And injuries have thrown a wrench into, I'm sure, a lot of his plans.
Yeah, I agree. I know that he's, I will say this. I know the guy's putting in an effort.
Oh, absolutely.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the Flyers come out and play like they did against the Kings, full on effort for 60 minutes, you're going to get a lot more of these type games where they're at least in it and not completely outclassed like we've seen earlier over the last couple weeks.
Easier said than done, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll wrap this one up. We'll be back hopefully tomorrow. What we'll do is a next question kind of show.
It's back.
Yeah, because we got a bunch of questions we want to get to, your questions. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop us a line on Twitter, on Facebook. Fire away, ask your questions. And, we'll get to that segment tomorrow, and we'll also preview the San Jose game.
Yes, so we will have another one out very soon. It's just been a little hectic, as it always
so
has been.
That's the plan as of right now.
Yeah, so thank you again for all of your questions, everyone that's submitted to us either on Twitter, on Facebook, or on, of course, our home base, our sounding board on Reddit Flyers. Shout out to Blinson and the whole gang there on Reddit Flyers. You guys are great. So
absolutely. All right, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, for Andy Robb, I'm Ken Prell. We are the Philly Hockey Guys. See ya.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like the Philly Hockey Guys podcast page on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Philly Hockey Guy and subscribe on iTunes, TuneIn, and SoundCloud.